Welcome to Review Detective, guys. In today's video, I'm excited to share with you our first experience with IKAWA'S new 100-gram roaster. Now, for those that have been following us for some time, you'll remember that we actually tested and reviewed the 50-gram version, so it'll be interesting to know if this new model is as impressive as the last. And since this is going to be somewhat of a longer video, you can go ahead and skip to the section that interests you more. The video will start off with the unboxing, where I'll go through the different items included in the box. I'll talk about the different coffee beans IKAWA offers, I'll go more in depth on IKAWA'S new roasting app, and I'll finish it off with a first use and first impressions on the roaster itself. With that said, when opening the box, you'll be greeted by an envelope and some instructions on how to start roasting. Inside the envelope is a nice message from IKAWA'S founder Andrew Storti, and underneath you'll find IKAWA'S Instagram hashtag so you can share your experience with others. When scanning the QR code, you'll be brought to a resources page on IKAWA'S website, which gives you some additional information. Moving on, after removing the top layer, you'll find two double-walled collection jars, which as you can see have a cork lining around the edge, making it safe to handle when hot. Next, you'll get a stainless steel dozer, which just like the collection jars, has a cork lining on the top, which will come in handy when doing multiple roasts, as the dozer can get quite hot. After removing an additional foam layer, you'll find the instructions manual, which has a lot of useful information and safety guidelines like which parts of the roaster get hot, which are safe to touch. Next, you'll find the power cable, which is long enough to accommodate for different spots in your house. And lastly, there's the roaster itself, which comes inside an IKAWA branded storage pouch. Inside the roaster, you'll find an additional collection jar, which comes with the rubber gasket needed when roasting. Talking about roasting, IKAWA actually includes 5 300-gram bags of green coffee beans from different locations around the world in what they call the Round the World Starter Kit. In this starter kit, I received coffee beans from Ethiopia, Guatemala, Zambia, as well as Mexico, with the names of the farms or corporations from which is being sourced printed on the front. On the back of the bag, you'll find all the relevant information regarding the tasting notes, the elevation, the process, the specific variety, as well as some additional information about the farm or corporation. There's also a QR code, which when scanned brings you to IKAWA'S recipe page, giving you more information about each specific coffee. Now, the normal starter kit will have different coffee origins than the one you just saw. The one I received is meant to show the large variety IKAWA can offer, even from those more unusual places. For those that want even more variety, on IKAWA'S website you'll be able to find the Brazil collection, which comes with a recipe card and 3 500-gram bags, all with either a different process method or a different variety of beans. The Brazil collection is not included in the price of the roaster itself, but it's good to note they have multiple choices available, be it from Brazil, Vietnam, or other locations. In all, everything you see here, as well as a starter kit including coffee beans from different locations, will set you back about $1,300 US. Alright guys, now once everything is out of the box, it's quite easy to get started. You're gonna need 2 collection jars, as well as the rubber seal which goes on top. Then you can go ahead and slide one of them inside the device like so. You can take your metal dozer and put it on top of the device, but make sure that the cutout is in the closed position, as you'll be able to see. Now the second jar will be used at the end of the process for collecting the roasted beans, so you can put that on the side for now. Alright, so let's plug in the device and power it on. Once that's done, you can go ahead and pair it with the IKAWA app, and from there we're gonna add 100 grams of green coffee beans into the dozer, and we'll start our first roast. To start roasting, as I've mentioned before, make sure the dozer is placed in a closed position, and once that's done, you can go ahead and add the green beans of your choice until the dozer is full, which should be about 100 grams. You can then twist the dozer to the open position so the beans can fall into the roasting chamber, and then make sure to put the dozer back to the closed position, otherwise the roaster won't start. Once that's done, open IKAWA'S app and choose the roast profile of the selected green bean, or just scan the QR code at the back of the bag, which will add the roast profile to your library, from which you can send to the roaster. You can then press the start button on the device and follow the roast progress directly on the app. In there, you'll get information such as temperature variation, time, and other useful information, allowing you to know exactly what the roaster is doing. You'll also be able to peek inside the roasting chamber through the glass on top of the device, which will let you see the different roasting stages and color variations of the beans. Now, as you can see here, the chaff will separate and go directly into the collection jar, and on the side of the device you'll see a status light which will change color when it goes into cooling mode. You'll also notice that there is minimal to no visible smoke release at all stages of the roasting process, so you can safely roast inside the house. Now, once the roasting process is done, the device will prompt you to change collection jars, and once that's done, all the roasted beans will conveniently fall at the bottom into the collection jar. All you'll be left with is chaff on one side and clean, perfectly roasted beans on the other that are ready to be brewed into delicious coffee. Here, if you take a closer look, you'll notice that the beans are evenly roasted and the quality of the beans sent by IKAWA is actually quite impressive. Plus, when comparing different roasted beans, you'll clearly see the different roast profiles ranging from lighter roast to darker ones. Now, I'd like to quickly go back to IKAWA'S app, which I think is a game changer in just how much control it gives you and how simple it makes the whole roasting process. In fact, when choosing a roast profile, you'll have a lot of useful information such as acidity, bitterness, and body intensity of the beans. You'll also get the roast profile graph as well as information on the different roast stages. What's more, there's a summary which gives you additional information about the roasting process, and at the bottom you'll find the flavor wheel, which gives you a quick visual guide on acidity, bitterness, and body intensity. For those that are new to home roasting, the app even gives you additional explanation on the roasting stages as well as the flavor wheel, so you can have a full understanding before getting started. Now, for those that are more advanced and want to have more control while roasting, IKAWA'S app lets you make additional changes to the roast profile. Here you can choose the roast degree ranging from light to dark, or change the development time from low to high, which increases the time it takes to complete the roasting process. And if you want more freedom, you can even individually change the different stages of the roast and truly make it to your liking. With that said, the new app is not yet available for Android devices and is not yet fully stable, as we've encountered a couple of crashes while testing. But overall, the app is easy to use, gives you a ton of control, and makes the whole roasting process easy and fun. So when taking everything into consideration, I was just as impressed with the new 100-gram IKAWA roaster as I was with the old 50-gram version. The build quality is amazing, and when it comes to roasting at home, you'll be hard-pressed to find a better device than the IKAWA home roaster. Now, for those that are still here, I'll leave you with a start to finish roast so you can see the different roast stages and the time it takes to finish them. With that said, thank you for watching and enjoy the roast.